Creamy without cream and meaty without meat, this vegan mushroom risotto will satisfy the hungriest of carnivores and herbivores alike. It's filling, can be fancy, and super fast as well, so why not give it a shot for your next dinner or dinner party? Alright, we'll begin with a little mise en place here. Every great risotto is super simple as long as you start with your preparations. So we'll go ahead and finely dice one large shallot. We'll also take the woody fibrous end off of a king trumpet or oyster mushroom, slice that in half, and then this part is optional, but I'm going to go through and put a nice diamond or crosshatch pattern on the interior flesh of that mushroom. It's going to yield a really nice, pretty result once we sear it off. We'll also grab some baby bellas or cremini mushrooms, dust off any dirt on the outside, and then finally slice those. If you've got some that are particularly large, like this one, once you've got it sliced, you may want to go back through and cut it in half into bite-sized pieces. For our oyster mushrooms, I'm going to add some olive oil and vegan butter to a skillet over medium-high heat. Press that crosshatch side down for 3 to 4 minutes or until it starts to turn nice and golden brown. It's a beautiful color. From there, we'll go ahead and tuck it into a 400-degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes or until they are cooked through nice and tender. Now, I'll be using some veggie broth to make our risotto. We'll put 4 cups into a pot over medium heat. We'll fortify that with some better than bouillon mushroom base. Again, optional, but really does add a nice depth of flavor to the risotto. We'll take a couple tablespoons of olive oil, add that to a skillet over medium-high heat, add in those baby bellas, and saute those for 5 to 7 minutes or until they've given up most of their liquid and start to turn golden brown. We'll want to season those with salt and pepper, and then just set them aside. They'll come into play towards the end of the dish. As always, the exact amounts and instructions will be down below in the description as well as on the website. We'll add in a touch more of that vegan butter, followed by that minced shallot. Sweat that shallot out for 2 to 3 minutes or until it is nice and soft, and then add in some arborio or carnivores rice. Toast that for 2 to 3 minutes until it is nutty and the grains begin to become translucent. Season it with salt and fresh cracked pepper, and then we'll add in a nice dry white wine, about 3/4 of a cup or so, and cook that, stirring pretty frequently until the wine is mostly evaporated. We'll then begin adding in stock 1 or 2 ladles at a time and continuously stirring. I'm working with about 1 cup of rice here along with 4 cups of stock, so it's a 4 to 1 liquid to rice ratio. And then just continue adding stock and stirring. This should take about 25 to 30 minutes until that stock is mostly absorbed and the rice is al dente or has a very light bite once you taste it. The stirring helps to agitate the starches and gives you a really creamy risotto. Once it is seasoned and toothsome to your liking, I'm going to go ahead and add in some fresh basil leaves or oregano leaves. Really, any kind of fresh herbs you have on hand would be just fine here. Some chives or tarragon would be delightful. Adding in those creminis, a little more vegan butter for richness and creaminess. Adjusting that final seasoning with a little extra pepper. And then I'm adding in some marinated artichoke hearts, which I finely chopped, and the juice of 1 lemon for some acidity and brightness of flavor there at the end. Now, anytime you're serving risotto, you want to plate it up on a nice warm plate so that rice doesn't go all cold and stodgy on you quickly. I'm grating over a little bit of vegan Parmesan cheese, but if you're not particular about the animal products, you could use regular Parmigiano Reggiano. Laying down those seared and baked trumpet mushrooms. I'm going to get a little fancy here and lay down a couple slices of black truffle, but again, that's totally optional. Got a few microgreens for that pop of green, fresh color, and then a little flaky sea salt since we didn't season those trumpet mushrooms. And as Mario Batali would say, to ever gild the lily, we will drizzle over a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and there is your vegan mushroom risotto with black truffles. Now, as I said in the intro, this is fancy enough to serve at a dinner party, but really pretty simple and straightforward, easy enough to make on a weeknight, It is really satisfying, so creamy. That mushroom has such great depth of flavor thanks to that sear we got on it. If you get a little black truffle bite in there, you get a really funky, woodsy, but amazing pop of flavor. And you really don't miss the meat. That mushroom has a really meaty, chewy, in the best possible way texture. I really hope you guys will give this a try. It is a great weeknight dinner or a little side dish if you don't want to get too fancy with it. Thanks so much for watching, and now it's your turn to go make something delicious.